I have seen a lot of videos regarding Starfield's recent expansion Shattered Space, and just Bethesda as a whole of recent. I have not seen a video as bad as this one that we're going to be taking a look at today. This video not only has awful points in defense of Starfield, but any potential points that could be used to defend Starfield in reasonable ways, the guy didn't even bring up. It's like he didn't actually research what he was talking about in the Starfield review, and it makes sense because it feels like the entire video was just shot in one take and then he shoved extremely loud music over it, which kind of, takes out his own voice, but let's get straight into the video.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Outward Lyric, and today I'm back at it again with a different type of video that isn't, a gameplay or a let's play sort of video, but I'm going to be going over one of those controversial topics. But it's not like controversial in the way like, oh my gosh, this is like a super serious matter. It's just controversial gaming stuff that's, been happening on the internet. So without further ado, make sure you grab your popcorn, make sure you grab your drink, get comfortable, do whatever you need to do, and let's jump straight into it.
I got my drink, let's get straight into it. And for any of you wondering which drink I just opened, it's actually the limited edition Oreo Coke, which I have been inhaling as of late with my brother. We have been loving these. I don't know about any of your opinions on the drink, but I personally really enjoy it. Now let's get on to the video.
So it's only been about a week and a couple of days since Starfield released, their latest expansion, Shattered Space. And from what I've been hearing people have been having fun with it. I know there's going to be, somebody who's going to bring up like, oh, well, the Steam players, say it's not a very good game and the expansion is going into the mostly negatives for them. I mean, those are Steam players, that's not all of the Starfield players are on, Steam or whatever.
But it's not just the Steam players that are negatively reviewing Shattered Space, it's also the Metacritic scores, it's critics in general, it's content creators, it's people watching the content creators. It is the majority of people who play Starfield are saying that Shattered Space is in fact disappointing, and some may say it's worse than the main game overall. So using the excuse, oh, it's just the Steam players, the very small minority and, the entire Starfield player base, doesn't really matter. It's still not just Steam players. We have to take a look at the overarching amount of people. Still, the majority of people think Shattered Space is just garbage.
I guess technically for the Xbox side, they've been praising it, saying it's really good, really fun, and things of that nature. But, okay. Basically, just what I want to say is that in general, it just feels like the hate for Star Force is becoming very forced now, and it just really doesn't seem believable anymore. Especially when you have more people coming out of the woodworks and just hating on the game for not even valid reasons.
Not one bit of Starfield hate isn't forced, and not one bit of it isn't valid. Every single criticism that I've seen towards Shattered Space and towards Starfield in general is completely valid, and this YouTuber not actually, cutting out the Star Force mistake just shows that this video was probably taken in one take.
They're just saying, oh, it's bad because, this person said too. They'll be like, oh, hey, this person's saying this about this game. And I mean, why should I waste my time with it? Stuff like that. It's just, it's ridiculous, honestly. I mean, I get, not wanting to drop $70 on a game that's not, worth it because, a lot of games these days just, are not worth that $70 price tag. So I definitely understand if you're a bit skeptical, but to kind of just take someone's opinion and run with it is, you gotta be more careful with that,
I guarantee you the majority of people that are shitting on Starfield or hating on Starfield in general have played the game. Random people aren't just going to be following a YouTuber or content creator, looking at their tweet or YouTube video, and then following and blindly hating on Starfield. The majority of people who do hate on it have at least played it once.
And now the main part of the video, I'm going to be getting into these ridiculously bad Starfield takes, so make sure y'all strap in for these because these are just out there.
With these takes that he's bringing up, you gotta strap in, right? This is about to be some crazy Starfield, like invalid takes that these people were making. They're literally not. And even the takes that actually were invalid and incorrect on a factual statement, the guy never even brought up. So it's really stupid. And again, he should have taken more time on this video instead of just blindly reading the tweets that he does bring up and actually deconstructed them more. Because if he did, he would be bringing up a lot more fallacies with these arguments.
Starfield Shattered Space by PC Gamer, mind you. Expansion hasn't been a smashing success on Steam. It has less content than any Skyrim DLC. So I'm gonna just put this out there, PC Gamer. y'all do know it's available via PC Game Pass and regular Xbox Game Pass for console, right?
But I genuinely want to know how this man led to this conclusion. The PC Gamer is talking about the amount of content that is in Starfield Shattered Space correlating to the Skyrim DLC and saying how there is less amount of content in Shattered Space than Skyrim DLC. And then this guy's like, oh, well, there's more people playing Starfield on PC and console Game Pass. Like, how does that correlate in any single way?
So I mean, if more people are playing it on those things than on Steam, wouldn't y'all think that, you know, it's performing better on those versus Steam? Because I mean, by that logic, I'm just gonna let you know right now, that means Final Fantasy 16 and God of War Ragnarok were complete flops because they don't have crazy amounts of Steam numbers / Steam players.
First, I don't know what Final Fantasy 16 and God of War Ragnarok has to do with Starfield and the amount of players playing on Steam, as it does not correlate whatsoever. Second, God of War Ragnarok and Final Fantasy 16 did not launch day one on Steam like Starfield did, so again, it makes no sense. I don't know why he's deflecting towards PlayStation exclusives. Maybe it's like a bit of an Xbox fanboyism in this video, I don't really know, but it's still extremely stupid to be bringing up two completely different games to Starfield.
I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know. I mean, it's just common sense, man. It's just common sense, bro. You know?
The amount of jokes I can make about this video is so awesome, honestly. First, the low-res picture he likes to shove and just let it sit there for about 5 seconds. And then, you know, it's just common sense, you know? It's just common sense that me comparing God of War Ragnarok and Final Fantasy 16 Steam members to a completely different game by Bethesda that also launched day one on Steam, it's common sense, you know? It makes so much sense. The logical points I'm bringing to my video, it just makes so much sense.
Okay, but we're gonna move on to the next one. Mr. Maddie Plays. This is a very interesting one, you know. I've heard a lot about this guy's, you know, review. Well, I know who he is. He's got, like, you know, super big following, all that stuff. Pretty popular, you know. And I'm not even trying to, like, hate on him or whatever. It's just a bad take, you know, which is kind of surprising because normally I can agree with some of the stuff he says about certain games and whatnot, because I was never subscribed to him, but I did, like, you know, watch a little bit of his content every now and then. But, you know, he definitely missed the mark on this one. Alright, so for Mr. Maddie Plays, he says that there are no new companions in, you know, the DLC, when J-Rock on Twitter literally calls him out and says, hey, there are new companions.
Okay, first, using J-Rock as your example, I have no hate against the guy, but clear Xbox fanboyism on his side. Second, there are no new companions in Starfield Shattered Space. Those are crew members you unlock during actual questing. Yes, you can take them with you, but there's no new affinity systems like there is with the base companions. There's no quest line behind them after you, like, actually put them on your crew, like general companions that we've had in the past. Old Longfellow from Far Harbor has an affinity system, has dialogue that you can have after you increase that affinity. Even Nuka World has Gage, which again, I'm pretty sure you can romance. Those are proper companions. Having crew members, basically, and they are crew members, does not count as a full-fledged companion in other ways. And I'm not moving the goalpost here. They are just recruitable people, like all those little points across all the bars in the settled systems where you can just hire a energy weapons development person. That is not a companion. That is a crew member that you can take with you. It is basically a hired gun. It is basically a hired gun with maybe extra dialogue at certain points. They're not going to offer extra dialogue during quests. They're not going to, again, offer an affinity system. It's just plain, just so lazy.
The problem is that it seems like he rushed through the game, or the DLC, I should say, not the game in general. He rushed through the DLC and simply just didn't care about anything else at the time, when if you're going to do a review, you have to take your time with the game. And I'm not saying, like, you know, you take forever to finish the game, but I mean, you definitely do need to actually, like, dive in deep and find what's all there within a said game to actually accurately review it and tell people, hey, this is worth your money, or hey, this is not worth your money.
I honestly hate this fucking argument that Starfield fanboys throw at people, and I've had it thrown at myself as well. Just because we have a negative outlook on the game, and because one person finished the game in an afternoon, doesn't mean that everyone who does not like Shattered Space, you know, rushed through it. I put about 12 hours overall into Shattered Space. I can safely say it's dog shit. I got all the achievements for Shattered Space. I've completed the DLC fully. Maddie Plays, I guarantee, put a lot of time into Shattered Space to formulate his review. Just because it's negative doesn't mean we rushed through it, and I am so tired of hearing that stupid ass argument.
now we have another bad take by Mr. Justice Inmo on Twitter. He says, Starfield Shattered Space is just a bore fest. 4 hours in, and it's clear to me that this is just a piece of the core game chopped off and held back from monetization. No bonus to choosing Andrasia as your companion, and the rover is locked at the SP, so you gotta boost / run all over the place. Okay, I'm gonna say something that might, might grind the gears a little bit, might get people a little heated, but I mean, hey, listen, man, it is what it is, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna just say they did absolutely cut this off and held this part back for, to sell it as DLC. Even if that was the case, which obviously we don't know for sure because it's, we just don't know. There's no information for it.
So first you're agreeing with him that yes, of course, and let's be honest here, this DLC was 100% content because they had the DLC named before the game even released, so guaranteed this was definitely cut content. Second, you're agreeing with him, and then you say, oh, it's actually not true, there's no information around it. And then third, when you showed off that tweet that showed, you can't use your rover outside of the spaceport, the SP, that's a complete lie. You actually can take it out of the spaceport, and you could have caught him on that, but you didn't. And I don't know why you didn't, because that is actually a pretty big accusation made against Shattered Space, because of course, it's a big land area, and being forced to run everywhere would be extremely annoying. But no, they actually do let you use the rover, so I don't know why he didn't catch him on that. Either he just hasn't played Shattered Space, or he just didn't notice, which I'm kind of leaning towards.
Starfield, the base game, just gives you already so much to do and so much content worth, in my personal opinion anyway, worth your $70 that, I mean, holding back a small chunk of the game really is not that bad. Maybe the price is maybe a little steep, because I can understand, wanting a DLC to be longer if you're gonna pay $30 for it. But I mean, 6 to 12 hours may be a bit extended when you do all the side stuff and whatnot. Really doesn't seem all that bad to me, because I've heard that the DLC for Shattered Space is about 6 to 12 hours, give or take, and then if you do some of the extra side stuff or whatever, it's even longer than that. So
honestly, I don't see how you spend over 20 hours in Shattered Space, and he said about 6 to 12. I really feel like that's about the length of the entire DLC plus side quests. If you spend more than 20 hours, you are 100% sure, you're not only listening to all the dialogue, which is fair, but you can't be running around quickly enough. You cannot be moving in between areas fast enough at a normal pace. You have to be taking it slow, which is fair, and that's a criticism I'll throw there. But again, yes, a $30 price tag on a DLC that has inherently less content than a lot of DLCs that are cheaper. Let's be honest here. In my opinion, Far Harbor, same price. Way better map, way better quests, even Automatron, for example, which is half the price. You get a completely new robot customization system, you get a quest line that is very cool, you get new guns, you get new actual armor, you get new enemy types, all the stuff you get from Shattered Space, except you get more of it, and for half the price.
Next up on the chopping block, we have Mr. Oliver Darko. He says, Starfield Shattered Space was supposed to do for Starfield what Phantom Liberty did for Cyberpunk 2077, a turnaround. But that's not the case. And you know what? I'm actually going to agree with him on something here. Oliver, you are absolutely correct. Starfield Shattered Space did not do a complete turnaround for Starfield, because Starfield never needed a turnaround in the first place.
Saying Starfield doesn't need a turnaround is the stupidest fucking comment that this video has possibly made in any semblance of, the entire 13-minute video as of late. This is garbage. That sentence was garbage. What are you on about? Starfield needs a major turnaround. Its core game is garbage. Its core game is a decade outdated and has been done better by indie developers. It is insane that he would say that, but let's continue.
Because unlike Cyberpunk 2077, which is, a really good game now, it was not a very good game at launch. Because I don't know if you remember this, but when Cyberpunk had first initially released, it was a complete buggy and broken mess.
Saying that Cyberpunk was buggy at launch is an understatement. It was fucking broken. But the difference is that Cyberpunk had a good core, and then showing off two videos, one without audio and then one with extremely loud audio, is very funny. I bet you could look up Starfield bugs compilation and find dozens, if not hundreds of videos showing off game-breaking bugs, crashes, and everything in between. Bethesda's Starfield, yes, maybe their most polished game in terms of scale of what it is, but it is still buggy and can be broken at times. And saying that Cyberpunk, again, it was worse, does not deflect any criticism from Starfield now.
I'm not, gonna sit here and say Starfield doesn't have, its own bugs or whatever, but at least the game was actually functioning properly, and at least the game was properly working. Unlike Cyberpunk 2077, who they were hyping up their game, being like, oh yeah, you can do so many things in, this game. You can do this, you can do that. And they were basically just, dragging us along, lying to us. And when they completely released the game, we were all let down.
Just like how Bethesda strung us along, gave us lies like they always do, Todd Howard speaking out, this is their biggest game, their best game yet, is the most polished game, and then once it finally released, we were all let down. They did the exact same thing Cyberpunk in CDPR did, except the issue is that the core game of Cyberpunk was always good, even with its bugs, even with its faults. Starfield has a bad bone structure at its game design core. Cyberpunk does not. That is the issue and the actual difference between both games. And again, bringing up Cyberpunk's launch status from over 4 years ago now does not deflect any criticism from Starfield now.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was hyped for Cyberpunk too, but then I saw that they were also telling these reviewers that they had to cut out and not show certain parts of the game that were broken or buggy and stuff, because they had known what they had did. And honestly, it was just very dishonest and disingenuous of them to do that, especially knowing the true state of the game that it was in. It was just a crazy situation, but y'all are not here for a Cyberpunk lesson.
Again, bringing up Cyberpunk and CDPR's past mistakes and issues does not deflect any sort of criticism towards Starfield now. Cyberpunk was fixed over the span of 3 to 4 years with Phantom Liberty, and that was their first major story expansion. Starfield, in fact, did release their first major story expansion. Did it fix any issues? No, it actually made a lot of the game worse and highlighted a lot of the issues with Starfield. So, there's the difference.
Alright, and last but not least, before I actually get onto some positive Starfield news closer towards the end of this video, we have Mr. Luke Steffens himself. Now, I watched a couple of clips of him, but I don't really watch his content like that. But I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying he does, good reviews and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna say this was just one of those rare bad takes. Finish Shattered Space accidentally in an afternoon.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Ladies and gentlemen, how do you accidentally finish something? Respectfully, Mr. Luke Steffens, I'm just gonna let you know right now, in the famous words of Master Oogway, there are no accidents, especially when it comes to playing video games, unless it's a misinput or a miss shot, like if you're playing Fortnite or if you're playing a fighting game. There are accidents there, but accidentally finishing a game, no, that doesn't happen.
I'm not a fan of Luke Steffens' review of Starfield either. Finishing the game in one afternoon of the release date is pretty stupid, honestly. He definitely did rush out Shattered Space, and that is a fair criticism I'll take towards him. But what the fuck are you talking about in the wise words of Master Oogway? What are you on about? Any actual criticism that you could bring up towards his review, you don't do it. And again, it's with this. He has several opportunities to deflect criticism against Starfield that makes no sense, and he never does it.
Alright, now that we got the bad Starfield takes out of the way, let's go ahead and end this video with something positive. According to VGT Gaming News, thanks to the release of its first story expansion, Shattered Space for Starfield has seen a healthy increase in players for both Xbox and Steam since September 30th. And this was actually pretty recent. This article that they have has only been about up for 2 days, so that'll let you know right there. Xbox player count is up 87%, bringing in the game into the top 10 games played on the platform in the week ending October 6th. Starfield has also seen an increase of 100%. 100%. Listen to that. On Steam since September 30th to October 8th, according to SteamDB. With Bethesda releasing large updates to the game almost every month, Starfield's player count has steadily been rising since the game's release in September 2023. And there you guys go. The facts right there where people really don't even... That's actually what's even crazy to me. At least with VGT, they actually had numbers to back up what they were saying. Versus these other people where it's just saying, oh hey, it's just saying here on Steam that, you know, it's this or it's that.
I would not say that VGT is a very credible source, and even these numbers that they do pull out of their ass, like the 87%, where the hell do you get that number? You're not showing us any proof. And oh, 100% on Steam, the increase. Yeah, they went from 5,000 to 10,000. It reminds me of what? You went from like 2 to 4 sales from The Office with Pam. That's exactly what they did. They doubled a very small amount. If they went from, say, 5,000 to 6,000 to like 50,000 players coming back on Steam for Starfield, that is a number we're talking about, especially for a big expansion like this. That is a solid number. 5,000 to 10,000, it's negligible. It makes a little difference.
And they're not taking into a full account all the numbers of all the people who are actually playing Starfield via, you know, like I had said earlier in the video, PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. So, there you go. Alright, now...
I don't know what it was with the long pauses for like 3 seconds, and then, alright, that actually makes me jump. Like, it scared me a bit when I was just waiting, you know, I'm looking at my phone while listening to this, and then, alright, and I'm like, what the hell? Why are you leaving like 4-second pauses in the video? You can't cut that out. You clearly did go through Adobe or some editing software to put in the screenshots, so what, you couldn't edit out those 3 seconds? Like, the lack of quality in this video on his points, and even just in the video quality alone, with the resolution of the video, with the resolution of the gameplay, it's just bad.
Alright, now with that all being said, I don't really think I have anything else for this video. Basically got through everything I wanted to get through, you know. Those bad takes, hopefully they never happen again, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if the bad takes do happen. I mean, it's the internet. Who cares now, you know?
And I really don't want to have to respond to another one of these stupid-ass Starfield defense videos again from this guy, but honestly, if it goes as far as it did with this one, I might have to. Thank you all for watching this video. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing if you so choose to, as well as becoming a member down below. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.